This video is brought to you by
Cool Green Clothing. You already know what it is. We done gone worldwide and we coming straight out of Baltimore. Go online right now at coolgreenclothing.com and I assure you, you'll find something on the website right now just for you. Oh yeah, and by the way, if you ain't cool and getting the green, you're in the way. And that's just basic.
What's going on, YouTube fam? It's your boy Tony 2 times, and we back with another episode of the Baltimore Way, man. Before I start, y'all know what to do. Be sure to tap that like button. Definitely watch this video to the end so you can hear the full story. For all my day one fam, y'all already know it's all love. Thanks for tuning back into another episode. If you're new to the channel and you're feeling the content, feel free to subscribe. Definitely hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time we drop a new video. On this episode of the Baltimore Way, we'll be doing something a little different. We're going to be discussing one of my favorite TV shows from the city, The Corner, and shedding light on one of the main characters, Gary McCullough, played by the late great T.K. Carter. Really, we will be discussing the whole family, but I just wanted to pay homage to T.K. and how well he played the role. Now, for some of you that have never heard of the TV show The Corner, it was a show written by David Simon, who also wrote or helped write many other shows about the city, including The Wire and We Own This City. Another writer, David Mills, who unfortunately passed away in 2010, and the show was also directed by Baltimore's own Charles Dutton, which many of us probably know or remember from the TV show based out of Baltimore, Rock, where he played a trash man. He also starred in many other movies and shows, including Menace to Society, in which he played Sharif's father. The show aired in April of 2000 on HBO. It was based on a real family living and trying to survive the streets, addiction, and the open-air drug market of West Baltimore in the 90s. West Fayette and North Monroe Street, to be exact. The main characters in the family was 15-year-old DeAndre McCulla, nicknamed Black, played by an actor we all know, Sean Nelson, who starred in the movie Fresh, The Wood, and many others. His mother, who was trying to keep him on the right track while battling addiction herself, was Francine Boyd, played by Candy Alexandra, who played in CB4, Sugar Hill, Poetic Justice, and many more shows and movies. Fran's ex-husband, Andre's father, was Gary McCullough, who also fell to the sickness of addiction and was trying to shake back while being a father, played by the late great T.K. Carter, who played in many movies and shows also, including Good Times, Just Our Luck, the Bobby Brown movie, and many more. The thing that made this show so special is because it was based on real life. And if you come from Baltimore, you can definitely relate to everything, the streets, or if you grew up like me, trying to fight to survive, stay off the corners, and coping and trying to understand a parent who was fighting the struggle of addiction while trying to take care of you. But the family story didn't start right there. Gary was smart. He came from a good family and grew up in what some consider the old Baltimore, where people were neighborly, spoke, corrected each other's kids, and drugs in the city wasn't that bad just yet. He met Fran and the two took a liking to each other. She was a pretty girl from around the way. Her and Gary both had big dreams. They started kicking it. Then he went off to college. Around about that time, she found out she was pregnant with DeAndre. Gary was excited to have a child, so he came back home, landed a good job, and had dreams of taking care of his family and living happily ever after. He moved them to a nice home out the way, but now married, his wife at the time, which Fran stated out her own mouth, liked to party and have fun. So while Gary was at work, she would throw parties. And of course, back in the 80s, when they were together, partying was different. Girl, boy, harder drugs wasn't frowned upon. She grew an addiction, and Gary tried hard to hold on, but the family drifted apart as Fran and DeAndre went to live with her family in West Baltimore. Gary, unfortunately, because of some bad company he was keeping, he also fell victim to the peer pressure of addiction and started also getting high and lost the house. He moved in with his mother and father in West Baltimore, not too far from Fran and DeAndre. As Dre started getting older, he was fighting the temptation of making some money and hustling at a time in the 90s in the Baltimore streets which was jumping, making millionaires. He fought with that thought because he saw what drugs did to his mother and father. But now, Fran had another son as well, different father, and by age 15, DeAndre felt he had to do something to take care of him and his little brother. So he jumped out there. Fran and his mother tried her best to keep him away from the corners, but she really couldn't say much because she was fighting her own demons. She had a circle of family and friends who also got high, and every day, like many addicts, it was a constant fight to get out the gate or try not to be sick. Get your product of choice so you can feel normal. Gary would see DeAndre and would chop it up with his son, but at first, Dre didn't have much rap for his father, feeling like he let him down. But still not wanting to see him sick, he would throw him a few dollars and pass him. Gary and Fran were cordial. They even hung out sometimes. She felt Gary was too smart to be out there chasing and often told him, "You shouldn't have never started. This is not the life for you." But he was in too deep. Fran often tried to get clean for DeAndre and her other son's sake. She got a job and all, but that slow, sober kind of life just wasn't for her at first, and she would often relapse. Gary wasn't ready, but he was also a kind man with a good heart, which in Baltimore can get took for weakness. He didn't want to do things that other people around him was doing, like breaking into houses, robbing, or stealing packs, because he felt it just wasn't morally right. He knew he was also doing wrong, but also had dreams of shaking back. See, they was the family. Before they fell, they made it out. And when they fell off, of course, everybody kicked them when they was down, even though Gary looked out for everybody when he was up. DeAndre was by this time all in. He had a crew, was hustling, getting into shootouts, and fighting his own battles, being a teen in Baltimore. He had met a young lady and also had a baby on the way. Him and his father would try to get cool, and he often showed glimpses of their old life when he saw DeAndre hooping with his friends. He would come over and shoot around with his son. I'm speeding up because I will be forever breaking down the whole show. But one day, Fran looked around and said to herself, "That's it." After a few failed relationships, family treating her and her kids bad, not being able to provide like a mother, she went to get clean and went and got her and her sons a place away from everybody in the neighborhood. But by this time, Dre was stuck. A lot of his crew had lost their lives or started getting high themselves. And sadly, one day, he decided to try his own product. From there, he was hooked. Now out there, just like his father and mother once was, Gary would try to talk to his son, and Fran would as well. And for years, Gary was trying to get it right. He kept a job at a crab place so he wouldn't have to beg and steal. He even got DeAndre a job as well, in which he quit. But unfortunately, Gary wasn't able to beat his addiction, and he would OD in his parents' basement. Fran moved to Baltimore County and stayed clean, but Dre couldn't never get back. He would go to rehab, get breaks. He even got an acting gig, playing in a role in The Wire, another show from the city, which he did good, but his addiction was too strong. While his mother had moved on off the corners, even got married to a man named Larry Andrews, who The Wire's Omar Little was loosely based on. His mother was finally clean and Gary was gone, but Dre was still struggling with his past, losing friends to the streets, family, and in 2012, he started going down a dark path. He robbed a pharmacy in Baltimore, not for money though. He told them he only wanted the pills. He was just trying not to be sick. And after years of struggling with addiction, at age 35 in 2012, Dre was found in the house gone from an OD like his father. Even through all that, Fran stayed clean. Her husband, Donnie, also passed away in 2012. But in 2022, she passed away as well at age 65 in Parkville, Baltimore County. I always watch The Corner, even now. But what made me revisit this heartbreaking but real life story from my city was the recent passing of T.K. Carter, who the family stated played Gary so good they cried in multiple episodes. He lost his battle earlier this month to health issues, and after a welfare check, he was found gone in his own home. People who never saw the show, even if you are not from Baltimore, be sure to check it out. It's the reality of a lot of young men and women just trying to survive. And when people always ask why you don't go get a better life, just leave. Or say, well, addiction is a choice. It will help you understand the cycle of good people struggling, trying to cope, and get out of a messed up situation. But rest in peace to the real Dre, Fran, Gary, Donnie, and also TK. If you have struggled not only with addiction, but just trying to break a cycle of generational curses, let me know your experiences in the comments. Yeah, man, I had to do something a little different for y'all. I wanted to cover this, of course, because of TK, but definitely a lot of people just don't know about the struggles people go through fighting every day. Demons, I got family members, my mother, rest her soul, people who dealt with this. I had battles myself over the years. But yeah, I ain't gonna talk too much more about this one. Y'all leave it in the comments. I appreciate you if you made it to the end. This is another episode of the Baltimore Way. It's your boy Tony 2 times. Love, fam. I'm out.